Hey guys, welcome to the show. Let's just make sure everything is working well in the sound department here. Yeah, sounds great. I got the microphone set up differently. I keep moving the microphone around and keep playing with the microphone. And it turns out I never really had it set up properly. In the settings, for some strange reason, it reset to the camera microphone. So I'm constantly testing to make sure it sounds great because I use this thing a lot. So as I told you guys last time, I have rewired and reset everything. So what I did was I repositioned this so that it used to be over here, then it was over there. Now I have it right here. So I don't mind it sitting in the camera, or I can have it right here and it still sounds great, right? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look and see if it sounds great. Yeah, so it sounds great there, and let's see right in front. Yeah, so right in front, it's a little bit deeper. It's got a little bit of a deeper sound and sounds a little bit better. Yeah, so, I don't think you guys mind having it right there. So let's leave it there. I'm Sri Lankan Sammy, retired with mom and dad. I am a Canadian Sri Lankan, semi-retired, living in Sri Lanka, living life. And I'm glad you guys are here joining me. It is hot. My gosh. It's like 10:30 in the morning. It's so hot. It's like 34 degrees in my room. So hot. I'm like, I have fans going left, right, and center. I need to figure out a way to cool down, people. Got my coffee. Oh, Dara's delivered all of my coffee accessories today. I'm going to do a video on coffee accessories, on my coffee obsession. Anyway, guys, I'm thanking you very much for joining me. My Thai inhaler. Oh, love that stuff. So addicted to it. I want to thank you guys for joining, for watching, liking, commenting, especially my loyal subscribers. You guys are just way too much. Like Darren. Yeah, it is as big as my head because it's actually closer to the camera. I honestly think it sounds a little bit better here, but I'll do what you say and put it up there. Move the camera a little bit so it's out of the way. Let's see how you like that. You can see the fan right there. So I'm getting a new camera this week sometime. Yeah, I'm getting a new camera this week. So that will fix this situation. So the sound is good. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, Darren. Really appreciate your help there. Thanks for joining us. It's late afternoon for you in Australia. It's early afternoon, sorry, probably for you in Australia. It's 10:30 a.m. here in Sri Lanka, and was like 2 o'clock in Korea, and 6 a.m. in London. So I am an online freelance worker. So I sit in front of this computer all day. I've got 6 screens going, just to manage all of the stuff I have to do. I've got 2 phones, one Sri Lankan, one Korean. And well, because I need to have the Korean one, I could have it all on one phone, but the Korean one is very important because the Korean system ties your phone number to your resident ID and to your digital password. They have an encrypted digital password, which is 256-bit encrypted. And it connects your phone to all of your government and banking accounts. So to transfer money, to do any banking, I can do it on my computer. It's just so much harder because the app is in English. So I need to keep the phone separate. So my visa is expiring next week, which means I get my pension back. So I'm working on that, getting a huge chunk of cash back from Korea that I've been depositing for the last 10 years. So that huge chunk of money is going straight into the term deposit. Sri Lanka just announced yesterday that they are restarting the seniors benefit. I think it's up to $1 million rupees. They get an extra 3%. So about, I'm thinking close to upwards of 12% interest for seniors. So mom went to do that today. She went to get the car looked at because we're driving along and all the lights on the dashboard will pop up, like the warning lights. You stop the car, turn the car off, turn the car back on, and it resets itself. So there's something faulty. They took it into Toyota to get it looked at, and they cleaned all the fuse and all the sensors, and it worked for a while and then reset. So they had to take it someplace else. There's a faulty sensor somewhere. So they got to find it and fix it. You can still run the car. It's just, it may be an indicator of something even a bigger problem. So you don't want that car to die on the side of the road. I don't know who to call, because that's the next thing I got to find out is let's get a phone number of a tow truck company, because there's no AAA here in Sri Lanka. So we got to figure that out, which is something I should note on my notes. Yeah, so I got all of my coffee accessories today. And so I got a bucket for the coffee grounds because mom wants the coffee grounds for the garden. I got on your desk, you'll have like a little cubby to put all your pens and everything like that. There's one for coffee nuts. So it holds the tamper, it holds the spinner, it holds the shield, it holds the portafilter, and it's a little box. It was so perfect. It organizes everything. Then I got a brush for the grinder. And yeah, so I'm going to do a video on that. And like, I remember my friend Alex said, way too much work for coffee. Well, you could just do instant coffee. But once you've had once you've had a really good espresso that you turn into a long black. So I take my espresso, double shot of espresso, and I add hot water to that, steamed hot water. And I make it what's called a long black. It's very sharp, very heavy. I like a heavy, rich coffee, dark. Tiny bit of sugar, no milk. And I love that. I have about 3 or 4 a day, especially if I'm fasting. If I'm fasting, I'll have 3 or 4. If I'm not fasting, like 2. And I am on the 72nd hour of my 100-hour fast. So it is Wednesday afternoon. I have 1 more day to go. So Thursday afternoon, mom is making me meat pasta. Not spaghetti. I want shells. I want like shell pasta. I gotta send her a note about this. I gotta remember to send her a note about this. Hold on a second. What just happened? Oh, okay. The screens go on and off. All right. Coffee, weather. What was today's? I spelled it wrong. Did I spell it wrong? Oh no. Midweek Podcast. Should you still travel to countries facing conflict or legal changes? Yeah. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk specifically about Philippines and Thailand. What the F is going on over there? Let me tell you. So what else am I trying to do? Well, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow I get my new schedule for July, August, for the next 6 months. And it looks like it looks like I'm crazy. I don't know what I was thinking, because right now I have a block of time between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. So I have signed on to do a job between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. That's 4 hours. 6 hours. So it looks like 4 of those 6 hours are going to be booked up. Minimum. Every day, 5 days a week. Which means I will be working Sri Lankan time from 11:30 till 1, let's say 11 till 1, 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. Then I will sleep from 1 a.m. till about 7 or 8. I have to get up, have something to eat. So I'll sleep like 6 hours. That's not bad. But the thing for me is trying to get to sleep. Once I'm awake and I'm pumped, it's hard to get back to sleep. So go to sleep for those 6 hours, work from about 9 a.m. till about 6 p.m. 9 a.m. till about 2 p.m. No. Sri Lankan time. Yeah, about 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. Then I have a little break, and then Monday and Wednesdays I work again from 3 till 6. And then from 6, I'll have to sleep until 11. So no more 8 hours straight of sleep, except for Tuesdays, Thursdays, maybe Fridays. Would I have to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Sri Lanka? That's the beauty of working in different countries. But the money is just insane. They just offered me a raise because this is my 3rd year doing that job. Another thing I found out is the way the tax system works here in Sri Lanka is really weird. So starting in the year 25-26, the taxable year, they don't work on a calendar year, they work on a taxable year, which is different than everything I've ever done. In Canada and South Korea, it was the taxable year. So 2025, which you would start to do the taxes in February, March, April. In Sri Lanka, it's much different. The taxable year is April to April. Well, April 1st to March 31st. So the 25-26 year, which started this April, is where I have to pay. Now, the way the Sri Lankan government is that you have to estimate what your income is going to be. And then you have to pay in quarterly installments. And then justify at the end of next year your true income, and then deductions, and then get money back. So my accountant has said, do the minimum and make that claim. And then in August, I have to pay a lot. So it looks like, according to the information I have, it looks like I have to pay about $1,000 US up front, but I'll get a lot of it back because I'll have deductions. They don't take into account the deductions. So the government gets to use my money, which I hate. I hate that I have to pay up front and then get my money back interest-free after a year. $1,000 is a lot of money. Just at the basic interest, I can make $100 off of that. And it's not a huge amount of money, but $100 every year for the rest of my life, that's money you're throwing away. And I hate that. Even a penny, I'm like, I hate that the government gets to use my money. That pisses me off. Got to figure out a way around that. I don't know whether to broach this topic or not. Technically, it's tax evasion. But if I'm never going to visit the country, I can never be arrested. Is that wrong? I owe money in Canada, but that's been written off 15 years ago. I will owe money in the UK, but I'm never going to visit the UK. And I don't think my boss is claiming taxes because he never asked my ID or anything like that. So if that money gets deposited into my South Korean account, I don't have to pay taxes on it in South Korea. If it lands in Sri Lanka, I have to pay a certain amount of tax on it. So if I leave it in South Korea and then I use my Korean credit card to buy things and pay for things, and then use my Korean debit card to withdraw cash when I need cash, whenever I travel or in Sri Lanka, or pay for things with my Korean debit card, I don't have to pay taxes on that money. Is that tax evasion? Technically, yes. See, I need to talk to a tax attorney to figure out the best way to move my money around the world so that I minimize my tax liabilities. And that's what you guys need to figure out as well. As a person with multiple citizenships, multiple bank accounts, multiple revenue streams from multiple countries, why should you pay more than you should legally? I mean, I'm not saying do anything illegal. I'm saying try to find the loophole that allows you to use your money without paying more tax than you should. I mean, the rich people do it. Why shouldn't we? Darren Mahesh has already helped me so much. I'm actually going to do a vlog with him because I was confused. I had a call with him yesterday for 30 minutes and he set me straight, let me tell you, on this whole Sri Lankan way of doing taxes, which is ass backwards. I was totally confused as to why am I estimating my taxes? Like, I didn't understand. And correct, I'm going to spend, that's probably what I'm going to do. I just need to double check and confirm and ensure that I'm doing everything as legal as possible so that I don't get bitten in the butt, that I don't want to be in any kind of legal trouble. Because in the end, that'll cost you way more. But I'm just a small fish in a big ocean, right? But who knows in the future what could happen, right? I don't want to be that guy that's made an example of, which is what we're going to get into next, which is what's going on in the world because of one guy. A lot of the places I want to retire to are changing the rules, and it's causing a huge kerfuffle. Before I do that, another thing that I'm looking into, which you guys should do as well, is all of the subscriptions that you have. The way the world is changing now, technology, it used to be you download a software application and you use the application. You buy it, download it, and away you go. In the old days, you used to buy the CD or disc. These days, you download the app and then run it. But with hacking and cracking, I haven't paid for a piece of software in decades. Games, movies, whatever. Is that illegal? Yes. Am I going to get caught? Probably not. But these days, it's now web-based applications. So you can't crack it or hack it. You have to buy the application online. So there's no way around it. But, so for example, I use Veed.io for my editing. That costs me like between $100 to $200 a year. Not a lot of money, but it's still money, right? Then I use ChatGTP, $20 a month. Again, $200 a year, not a lot, but still, that's 500. You know, let's say 400, $500 a year. That's a lot of money when you add it up, right? Are there free alternatives? Now, don't ask ChatGTP for a free alternative to ChatGTP. So I'm thinking about moving from Veed to CapCut and moving from ChatGTP to Google Gemini. Those are the two main subscriptions I have. I used to use Canva, but now I use ChatGTP to make my thumbnails. But you know, I'm not a huge channel. I don't make a lot of money on my channel. I spend more on my channel than I do making. And that's where you guys can come in. You can please support the channel. You can watch a commercial all the way through. I truly appreciate it. I would love it if you click on the link of the commercial. If you comment, please. I see you guys watching a lot of my live streams after the fact. Please comment. Click like. It gets my channel in front of other people. I have a lot of you watching, but you're not commenting. Please tell me good things, tell me bad things, whatever you want. I will answer every single one of you. I'm not that big, so I don't get that many comments. The reason I'm not that big is because I pivoted twice since I started my channel 5 years ago. In the beginning, it was just a entertainment blog, and then it was a personal blog, and now it's a retirement blog. So I pivoted a couple of times, and that affected the algorithm. So it's going to take a couple of years, I think, for the algorithm to change. But I've seen other guys who started their channel in February, and they're huge. I don't know why I'm not getting a lot of views, and it's just frustrating. I'm going to tweak my SEO and just see what's going on, see what I can do to figure it out. But I don't have the time. I'm so busy sleeping. Yeah, so I have decided I am going to the Philippines for 5 months. I'm leaving November 6th Darren, I'm going to miss you, brother. I'm going to miss you by a couple of weeks. I could delay my flight till December, but that would cause a lot of knock-on effect. I really do want to hang out with you and your family because you're bringing your kids over this time. We're kids, your adult kids. When I say kids, I don't mean little kids. I mean your adult kids. I'm going to miss out on that. I really want to see you and see them and meet them because, you know, you're a great guy. Although you give me a lot of grief, I appreciate it. I do. I truly do appreciate it. You always have some great advice and comments. We don't always agree, and that's a beautiful thing about being friends online and being part of this community, is that this is what I want. This is what I want for the future of the planet, is people being able to talk to each other, not always agreeing, but still being friends. You know, Darren has some great advice. I don't always listen to his advice, but he's got some great advice. I don't always agree with it, but he's got some great advice because I'm not right. And that's why we're here. We're here to share our ideas so that people can learn from our mistakes and take that information and use it as they wish. I am not 100% right, but I've made enough mistakes that I know what not to do. By the way, Darren, my stocks, Jesus H, 62% profit. I'm at 11 months plus dividends. It's insane. I can't believe it. My dialogue stock is 112% profit. The lowest one is my Ceylon Tobacco, which is 20% profit. Unrealized, obviously. But even with the market correction last week, I went up 2%. And we've said this before. Yeah, the market can go down. But if the market's going to go down 50%, I have bigger things to worry about than the stock market. If the stock market goes down 50%, if my portfolio goes down 50%, that's an indicator of a bigger effing problem. The price of fuel went up. The price of bus tickets went down. The big rumors about fuel rationing caused a little bit of a lineup at the gas pumps last week, which was unfounded. Sri Lankans love their freaking rumors, man. My next door neighbor's cousin's brother's sister, their garbage man told them, "Who the hell are these people? And why are you listening to them?" I just want to shake my head at my mother sometimes. Is like, yeah, this guy said that there's going to be. I said, who the is he? Well, you never know. And it's like, these are just people trying to make themselves more important. Has one rumor in the history of Sri Lanka, has one rumor ever come to fruition? I've got into yelling matches with my mother over this. Because every single time she says, "Oh, Damayanti said this and that the government is going to do that," I'm like, that's not how you're in the finance business, and that's not how the finance works. Like, think about it for a second. The government cannot dictate interest rates. That's what the bank does. The bank and the government are two separate entities. How can they do? That's not law. You can't do that. It's called manipulation. The bank and the government are separate entities. They don't. Sometimes I just want to. Sri Lankans just sometimes, not Sri Lankans, people. Anyway, one person's actions are causing a huge problem in the Philippines. And that is Vitali. If you guys know Vitali, he is a nuisance streamer. Same as Johnny Somali in Japan and Korea. Johnny Somali is going to jail for 15 years. That guy's screwed. No matter what happens, he will not be allowed in any other country, even if he gets off here in Korea. He caused a lot of problems and was placed under arrest for different charges. If you guys want to follow that story along, go to Legal Mindset, YouTube Legal Mindset, and check him out for the updates on what's going on with nuisance streamers. Johnny Somali got caught in Japan causing problems and was fined and deported. And he streams on Twitch and stuff like that on YouTube. But then he came to Korea, and here's what like drives me insane. Korean immigration knew who he was, yet they still allowed him into the country. Like, he's an undesirable person. Why would they let him into the country? Help me understand that. It doesn't make any sense. So they let him into the country, and this guy desecrates the wartime slavery monument. He throws food in this convenience store. He causes disruption in the subway. He streams pornography in the Korean version of Disney World. So he caused a whole bunch of disruptions. He was arrested finally, and then he did some deep fakes, some adult content deep fakes using Korean people. He got punched out by another Korean streamer for doing what he did. That guy got arrested and charged, and someone paid his fine. Nobody's given Johnny Somali any money. That guy he's stuck in Korea. He can't leave, and you can't run away. Like, I think they took his passport, but that doesn't matter because there's only two ways out of the country: by ship or by plane. You can't walk across the country. You can't sneak across the border because there's no border. We're technically an island. And I say we. I'm not in Korea, but you know what I mean. So he is facing up to 15 or 30 years in jail. Even if he gets out, no country is going to take him back. He's American, so he'll have to go back to America. How he's going to pay to get back there, he has no money. How he's going to get online, nobody knows, because no platform will take him because of his constant violations. So then there's another guy, not famous, but infamous. There's lots of these nuisance streamers. And fixing this. So do it like that. So I have to place it so it doesn't show up in the camera and it doesn't block my view of my screens. It's a fine line, fine dance. Anyway, another infamous nuisance streamer called Vitaly. It's a Russian vlogger who caused problems in the Philippines. And this guy was like harassing people and, like really getting up in people's faces and doing crap and posting it online. And the Philippines just said, you know what? Screw you. You don't F around in the Philippines, man. That's a country that murdered, whose president said, go out and kill drug dealers. Go out and kill drug dealers. And they did. So they said, screw you, Vitaly, you're going to jail. So they arrested him and they threw the book at him. And he is facing huge jail time, and he's in one of the dirtiest awfulest jails in Philippines. You don't want to be in jail in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, or Korea. Now, Korea is getting better because they have a foreigner-only jail, but even that, you don't want to be there. My friend was in jail, and he told me it's like there's a 4-man bunk, but there's 8 guys in there, so 4 are on the floor. Head to foot, ass to mouth. So you don't want to be in those jails. It's even worse in the Philippines. Thailand, forget about it. Vietnam, forget about that. They don't have foreigner jails. You're in with the gen population, and you're going to get the crap kicked at. So he's there, and the Philippine government said, you know what, that's it, done. We're not going to deal with this anymore, because one of the things that you have to learn about Southeast Asia, especially Southern Asia, Southeast Asia, Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, those kinds of countries, they are rabidly nationalistic, proud people. And they, because other than Thailand, were former colonies, are so I don't want to say anti, but number one rule, you don't go to Thailand and start a fight, because you will get the crap kicked out of you, right? Thai people see a foreigner doing something, they'll just jump in. They don't want to know the details, they'll jump in. Okay. Same in Vietnam. Philippines, I don't know, I never saw crap in Philippines, but I've seen crap in Thailand and Vietnam. No, Philippines the same. Filipinos, they love to, I'm not saying this about the people. I'm saying they're proudly nationalistic and will protect their own, which I love. Okay, that's why I never get into arguments with anyone anywhere. Number one rule I learned when I was living in Korea was, if you get into an argument with a Korean, turn around and run away. Turn around and run away. Because you will get the crap kicked out of you, and when the police come, they'll arrest you, not the Korean. That's what I've seen it happen 150 million times living in Korea. So Vitaly did this, and the Philippine government said, that's it, we're done. No more vloggers. And they reactivated a law or a rule or a policy, whatever you want to call it, that has been in the books for a few years, where you now have to blur people's faces online. No choice. And if you don't do it, you're going to get arrested. You have to register with the government if you are a monetized YouTuber or any kind of monetized vlogger with any platform, regardless if you have people in the background or not. Now, I have to figure out how to do that. There are tools that allow me to do it. YouTube has something, and I gotta test it out. So I gotta see, when I have some free time to do it. Otherwise, my vlogs are going to be very boring when I'm in the Philippines. 5 months of making sure that nobody's in my background, and anybody I talk to has to have implicit permission, and there has to be disclaimers on my page as well. And people can click a link to have their images taken down, which is stupid because I've already gotten permission from them to interview them. And Filipinos love to be on vlogs. But this is to prevent them from, what's been happening is, like, they say specifically in the circular, like, vulnerable people and children, because what's happening is a lot of these vloggers are going into the barrios and the poorer sections and interviewing people and talking about them, about their lives and stuff like that without their permission. Without asking for their, I mean, they ask them, but you know, like a child can't give permission. I've seen a couple of those videos, and yeah, I don't do things like that. Mine is more about my life because no one's more important than me. I'm joking, come on. But that's what you guys want. You want to hear about what's going on and how you can, you know, retire and move around the world. So yeah, I've kind of calculated my budget for the month, and it's working out to be between $700 and $1,000 US a month, depending on how much entertainment I do. Because I don't mind spending that extra $300 a month. And it's a very rough number because I'm pretty sure the number is inflated a little bit because the research I did, I can eat for a lot less. And that's where the thing is the food. I'm not counting like anything else. My utilities are all included, my internet, my electricity, my gas. It's my visa costs are costing me about $100 a month. Transportation, now my friend's going to give me a scooter, but I got to pay him. Right? I'm going to have to give him a little money. That's going to be like $100 a month. Gas, nothing, like 10, 20 bucks a month. Food, maybe not even $100 a week, because I don't eat a lot and I'll eat local. Now I'm going to hire a maid to clean and cook because I want the healthy food, right? So I'm going to hire a maid to clean and cook. That'll cost me, I don't know, another $100 a month. Going out to eat and going out to the beach, that's where the cost is going to come into play. Because when I go out, I like to go to, you know, a nice place. I can go to the public beach, but I'd rather go to a resort. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go to a resort. If I'm going to go every day, I'm just going to go to the public beach. But if I'm going to go on a date or if I'm going to go with friends, I'm going to go to a resort, which is going to cost me like $100 because I'm going to pay for my date. I'm going to pay for food and drinks. So that's going to cost me. There's where that extra $300 comes into play. You know, once a week to go out and do that, it's going to be a little bit of expense, especially where I live, because I'm going to be living in Mactan Newtown, which is like an upscale area. So it's going to be expensive, but I will find the cheap alternatives. And that's what I'm going to do, because while I'm there, I'm going to talk about being a tourist and being a local, right? So being a tourist, you don't mind spending once or twice if you're there for 1 or 2 weeks. You don't mind spending the money on like luxuries. But if you're a local or a long-time resident, you can't do that on a fixed income or on a pension or on a budget. You can't. You got to find the cheap alternatives. So, you know, I already know that I'm going to be buying fruit from the fruit stand across the street from my condo. There's a fruit stand. So that's my fruit. I know I'm going to be going to the grocery store to buy things in bulk. And I already found a local grocery store. Not going to 7-Eleven. Forget that. You're just paying ridiculous prices at 7-Eleven. You go to the local market. You buy. So if I have a maid, I'm going to give her the money to buy, you know, the chicken, the beef, whatever, to make me the stews. So Filipinos make stews, and that's what I'm going to eat predominantly, is a little bit of rice and some stew with some fresh vegetables, right? what I eat right now. And then on weekends, I treat myself and I'll go and I'll have steak, I'll have sushi, I'll have seafood or whatever, something to treat myself, pizza, whatever. That's when I go out with my friends. Because November, December, I'm still going to be working, not as much. My hours go down because the contract is ending. January, February, I'm not going to work at all. I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to take, especially February, I'm going to take a month off. January, I'm going to work a little bit, but February, I'm taking a month off and I'm just going to relax and do nothing. So I'll be able to like go out and do things and enjoy my time there. And then first week of March, I come back. So the budget is going to be flexible. It can be anywhere from what I am projecting it to be. It's about 400 at the bare minimum, up to 1,000 at the high end. I'm pretty sure that my cash that I have to bring with me to pay for my daily life is going to be about $400 to $500 a month. But I'm budgeting for 1,000 a month with an extra 1,000 as a safety net. I'm bringing cash with me, right? So yeah. Now my friend Tim, like I said, he's going to give me a scooter. He said he has a scooter to give me, and he lives like 5 minutes away from me. He's moving to, seriously. He was about 20 or 30 minutes away from me in Cebu, and I'm on the island, on Lapu-Lapu Island, on the other side of the airport. But he said he's moving at the end of this month, and I saw where he's moving to, 5 minutes from my house. I love it. So like I said, I got a deal on the house I'm going to rent. I got like a 30% discount. So over the 5 months, I'm saving like $2,000. And they include the internet, electricity, water, gas, and they're going to give me a nice desk chair so that I can do this. Yeah, so Vitaly really screwed over the Philippines. A lot of vloggers are leaving. Like the one vlogger I found, he's leaving. He's going to Bali. I told him, come to Sri Lanka. But he's going to be doing a tour around the Southeast Asia. He said that's what he was planning on doing it anyway, but he said this expedited that decision. But a lot of vloggers are confused. They don't know what to do. Now, the story is this really going to be enforced? And the thing is that it's there for the government to enforce. Now, it's not a law, but it's like a law. Again, there's so much confusion. Like, what is it? Is it a law? Is it not a law? Nobody really understands. So it's a circular to a policy, and that is where, like, who enforces it? It's not the police. It's this one agency. So there's a lot of confusion going on as to who is going to like charge you. So I don't think the government is going to be like watching YouTube, looking for YouTubers who aren't doing this. I think what's going to happen is that if they find someone like Vitaly doing what they were doing, they're going to throw the book at them and have a way to like more teeth to the law. I think that's where it is. Just like in most countries, a lot of laws are not enforced. Thailand, my gosh, what the heck is going on in Thailand, man? From taxing YouTuber income to finding bombs on the beaches of Phuket to changing of the broccoli law. The broccoli law is changing. They're going to eventually recriminalize it, is what they're saying. But I mean, come on, like just everything is just, I don't know. It's not going to change my plans because I never was going to be a long-term resident. But I have something to say about that. I don't know if I should talk about it, but okay, here's my thought. I haven't done any research or planning or anything other than this is a small nugget of idea in the back of my head, which I have to shave today. Yeah. I have always thought that I would have Sri Lanka as my base and then move around from place to place to place to place. But then, talking to my friend Tim, looking at other vloggers, and then my recent research into elder care, end of life care, has got me thinking long term. Like, what am I going to do when I'm 70, 80? Who's going to take care of me? Now, I can afford elder care. And I have two options, and I'm going to do a video on this. I can come back to Sri Lanka and have me taken care of here very easily, very cheaply, and very comfortably. I already know the places I want to go to, and I don't mind paying. I'll have enough money in the bank to pay for the place that I want to stay at, which is, Darren, right next door to your place. So we can hang out. The retirement village right next to your place. It's a luxury retirement village, which has two wings. One is the retirement villa, and the other one is the nursing home. So that's where I'll stay, because it's right by the ocean. I mean, I'll never go in the water, but I prefer living by the beach than living in the city. Now, it depends on my health. If I need to be near a hospital, then I'm going to have to think about living in Colombo so that I can be near the hospital. Darren, the way you're running around, brother, you'll outlive all of us, okay? Especially with Janet around, you know, she'll whip your butt into shape, okay? So I have two options, you know, like I never thought about it, but I like, oh yeah, I got to think about elder care. You know, well, okay, I can come back to Sri Lanka. I'm a citizen. I fly back here and live the rest of my life in an old folks home, having someone take care of me, wipe my ass and my mouth, right? Not at the same time. But you know what I mean. Or, and this is where the nugget is coming into play here, is that if I think about the Philippines, which I really like, great infrastructure, great language, great people, and great culture. Now, there are pros and cons to this idea, but if I find someone like-minded to get involved with, I'm not saying getting married, but I would have to. There are options where I can end of life in Philippines and have someone take care of it. There's pros and cons to that. But that's something that's a small nugget in the back of my head that I'm thinking that I would, you know, explore over the course of the next 15 years. Not something I'm going to do tomorrow. No. I'm not crazy. This is something that I will explore over the course of 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. You know, can I meet someone? Am I psychologically sound enough? Because I've been single for 20 years. There's no way I'm giving up that single life. Now, like, for example, if I met someone like Lady Sarah, But even Lady Sarah, I would never marry because she is just, no. Her and I, the way we think is completely opposite, and she would drive me insane. That's why we're great friends, because I have no investment in a partnership with her. We're just friends. She does what she wants. I do what I want. When we go on vacation, that's a beautiful thing. She goes one way, I go the other. If I don't want to do what she wants, we're not in a relationship. So there's no like guilt. Oh, you don't want to come with me. Screw that. You go do what you want. Just let me know where you are so that I know you're safe. That's my only thing. But being involved with someone is a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of stress. I've talked about the stress of being in a relationship with someone, and that's crazy. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but that there is an option, right? We're talking about 20 years from now when mom and dad are gone. I'll be alone. I won't have anyone to care about or worry about or have to, stress about. And if I have someone who I can be involved with, that might be an option, and then getting married would solve the visa problems, right? And then the financial things. Because, like Lady Sarah doesn't need my money. Princess Jasmine doesn't need my money. My brother doesn't need my money. So when I pass on, where's that all going to go? I gotta figure out what to do with all that money. The house, once mom and dad pass on, the house is being sold. Profit, non-profit, it's going to just, whatever money you get, that's it. That money is going and split between my brother and I. It'll be reinvested in Sri Lanka, obviously, because exporting the money is very difficult. But that money will go into a bank account and just sit there and earn interest. And then whenever my brother comes here, that's the money he spends when he's here. So, yeah, that is kind of a small nugget that's sitting in the back of my head. What do I do when I'm 80? And the thing is that I don't like being alone. The reason I'm happy now is because I get to go on vacation and see my friends. I get to see Lady Sarah. I get to see Princess Jasmine. I get to go visit my friend Tim. I get to go meet up with Anuj. That's a beautiful thing about having younger friends, is that they get to fly around the world. And friends who have money, because I get to meet up with them all over the world. So yeah, that's it. I think that's what we're going to wrap up today, is that leave it with that. Like that is where I'm going to go and think about over the next 5 to 10 years. And that's what this all is about, is me exploring these different countries to see where can I live and what should I be doing with the rest of my life, like short term. So for the next 5 years, I'm going to be traveling. And I'm going to be traveling and finding long-term places that I can live in. Cost of living, functionality, people-wise, entertainment-wise, whatever. Find the place that I enjoy staying in the most, and then stay for a year type of thing. Okay. And then start staying longer, and then figure out, is this someplace I would like to retire in? Maybe get a retirement visa. As time goes by, it gets longer and longer and longer, to where I finally decide, okay, I'm 70 years old, 15 years from now, I need to figure out, stop traveling and spend time in one place, because by then Lady Sarah's married, Jasmine's married, Anuja's married, having kids, and all these people, they're all doing their own thing. We're talking about 15 years from now. Lady Sarah will be 45, 50 years old almost, right? Jasmine will be 50. There won't be young people anymore. They'll have their own lives. They won't be doing what I'm doing, what we are doing right now. So I got to think about that. So that's the nugget in the back of my head, right? The front of my head is like, let's get to that target. And me sacrificing the next 3-4 months of working my butt off like I did last year, where I was exhausted. Like I was losing my freaking mind. Makes up for it, because my vacation in February when I was out with Lady Sarah in Krabi was the best vacation ever. And the money spent was well worth it. It was a luxury 5-star vacation. I spent, both of us, we spent like $10,000 on a vacation. It was ridiculous what we spent, but it was well worth it. She said she would love to do it again, just not spend that kind of money. But it was a great trip. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up today because I gotta get to work. I gotta eat. But I want to thank you all for joining. And remember, please comment. I really do appreciate it when you guys comment, when you guys interact with me and each other. Let me know what I can do to make things better, to talk to you guys. Please comment, share, like, enjoy. I'm Sri Lankan Sammy, retired with mom and dad. Remember, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. Be good to each other. Love each other, okay? And remember, we're not strangers. We're just friends who have yet to meet. Darren, always love you, brother. Be well, and we'll talk to you soon.